Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to tell you why I'm the crazy guy from Howard Beach. Everyone that I grew up with used to say I was crazy. Everyone I meet says I'm crazy. Everyone that I associate with for any length of time realizes that not only am I crazy, but I'm a little bit smarter than the average person. And I don't mind saying so because I worked very hard at that particular aspect of my life. Typically, I act like a fool on YouTube. By wearing my intelligence glasses today, I will prove to you why I am the crazy guy from Howard Beach and why people think I'm crazy. On December 15th of 1970, according to the story, aka the Cross of Christ, I was stabbed to death. Now, that's a fact, and when I was stabbed to death, I met a man and a group of men behind pews. Large wooden pews. When I rose up out of my body and Dr. Sirota was trying to put me back together, I met this group of entities that I call the Council. I've called them the Council since I was a child because there were several men, perhaps 10 or perhaps 12. It was dark and the room kind of concaved and they were around me. But the people that were to the left and to the right were more dark. It was almost as if it faded to black. The man in the center still had a robe over his head and was talking to me, asking me why he should let me go back to living. I said, there's no reason. I'm comfortable with being dead. It said to me, well, are you sure? Because we can give you the opportunity to go back. And I was looking down through the floor of the ceiling of the hospital, and I looked into the far corner, and I saw my mom crying. And I said, well, you know, I think I'd like to go back. As a matter of fact, I'd like to go back. And it said, okay, we'll let you go back, but if we let you go back, will you do something for us? I said, yes, bottom line. And I said, what will it be? It said, well, this will be something great that will help change the course of history for the better. And you will know what it is when it actually happens. You will know what it is. So for the next 35 years, I spent studying religion and theology and Buddhist meditation. I spent 3 years working in a Zendo. I spent 7 years studying Tibetan yoga. I appear to be crazy to everyone else because not only do I think outside the box, I think very far outside the box. However, it doesn't change the fact that not a single one of my predictions hasn't come true. I predicted that there would be a great explosion in the sky a few weeks before the Challenger explosion, and I told everybody that I knew there would be a great explosion in the sky, and sure enough it happened. I told someone there would be an island coming out of the ocean, and sure enough on my birthday an island came up out of the ocean that was 900 feet long and 55 feet wide, I believe it was, 925 feet long and 55 feet wide. It was in Japan or China. It was a long time ago, back in 1980. However, my birthday is 9/25/55. So the numbers that were in the island that raised up out of the sea were also the numbers associated on my birthday, and they think it happened on my birthday. So when I was right about that prediction, people used to look at me like, wow, you're a crazy bastard, but you're right. Well, that's right, folks. But now moving past that, this council told me that I would do something one day that would be phenomenally great and it would go world renowned. I've already accomplished that aspect of the agreement because my videos are now being viewed at the rate of 10,000 a day on certain days. But moving onward, I wrote a 1990-page book, which you know I call Angels on the Ark by Michael Fazio. All of the things that I am going to depart to you in this video are also in this book, including the entity that gave me a lot of the information after I had passed out and died on the operating table, whose name was Zolar. And in fact, I named my first business, and this is my first business card from when I was 17 years old. I named my business after a man I met in my dreams who allowed me to build a 21-foot cabin cruiser for a portion of a year without a pencil, without a ruler, without any markings on the wood. I would just look at the wood, look at the bandsaw, look at the boat from 60 feet away, and then cut the wood itself, with the understanding that inside my head the wood would be the right size. And in the dark sometimes I would just cut the wood, compound nature of the cuts, because it was the stem or the rear of the boat. They're all compounded. None of them are 90 degrees, and I would just look at the wood and cut the wood, and it would be the right size. So something took control of my mind. Now what you perceive that something to be is, well, some of you imbeciles believe it was a Satan in nature, and other people that are more intelligent on an intellectual basis understand that consciousness to be something called cosmic consciousness. And a fellow named R.M. Buck wrote this book in the 60s, and he has shown the world in this book that not only does it happen to the average normal person, but typically that person becomes super aware of events that are going to happen in the future itself. That is what happened to me. It's what is known as the Christ consciousness. It's known as the Buddha consciousness. It's known as many things. It has existed throughout all of time and history. The fellow that introduced me to it in a state of dream understanding or dream works was a fellow named Zolar. He explained to me he explained to me a lot of things. He also explained to me that on the obverse and reverse of the $1 bill, there was more to the story than meets the eye. And I devoted $50,000 in money and time going back to school, learning how to turn on a computer, operating film, digital photography, and camcorders. I spent $50,000 of my time writing this book that you can click by looking at the link under my description box, making predictions and proving beyond any doubt that there is a race of civilized beings that have controlled this world for tens of thousands of years, dating back much further than the Great Pyramid, probably hundreds of thousands of years, according to the Mayan and Incan cultures, that this entity also controlled, or a group of entities, or spirit beings, or godlike entities, or aliens. But whatever it is that has guided me to this point in life is making me aware that my philosophy and my understanding of the universe is going to make a difference. A year and a half now, I have sold books and made videos. Not a single complaint from any of my people that purchased, from my patrons that purchased the book. Not even one complaint. You would see them on YouTube, but you don't. 430,000 hits thus far, and you don't see a single complaint about my book. They say I'm crazy. That's good. They can say that. You're allowed to say stuff like that. It's good that you say stuff like that. If you feel the need to say that I'm crazy, I'm crazy. Everybody will admit that. Doesn't make me wrong. See, that's the problem. It never makes a person wrong because they're crazy. It only says that they're crazy and they see something that you don't see. So moving past that, I have predicted that on December 15th, with the help of the same spirit being, that on December 15th of 2011, we would be in a state of catastrophic events because America as we know it would cease to exist. America as we know it would cease to exist by December 15, 2011. When everybody else in the world was talking about the world ending on December of 2012. Michael Fazio, that crazy guy from Howard Beach, was putting it in his videos that the world would cease to exist as we know it by December 15th, because by that day, typically Congress has gotten together to screw the American public, because every Christmas during the holidays, Congress slips it into the American public proper, because no one's paying attention. Everybody's trying to buy Christmas presents. They're worried about the blah, 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 the blah, blah, blah. And then a week after, then the night before Christmas on December 24th at midnight, when nobody's there, 4 people vote on a bill that affects the course of history in America. Now this year, I said, in my prophetic video, Michael Fazio, Speaker of Truth for President, that I published on May 22nd of 2010, not this year, 19 months ago, I made it clear that Obama would try to cease elections and he would want to become the king of this world. I also made it abundantly clear that the dollar bill would collapse, and that's the reason for that is so that they could remove the words "in God we trust," one God, from the dollar bill. Now, part of this whole process will occur because the time of history is the time that is going to happen, is the time that it was supposed to happen. And another aspect of this is because with the utilization of these tools, I have discovered all of the secrets, or many of the secrets, of the $1 bill. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter whether you believe me or not. This is going to be a 2-part series because I can't get it all in. The United States government, as we know it, will cease to exist by December 15, 2011. I have said it in